What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic day. But we're here to talk about the OTAs, the final day of OTAs, day 6. And look, we talk about this all the time. Take this with a grain of salt. I know as this channel grows, more people tuning in, but this is a time where we're just excited to see something from the Eagles. And they didn't give us much, man, just some information on what's going on here. And we'll talk about those things. And we had some questions at the beginning of the week about what would go down this weekend. Well, some of those things did. So we're going to discuss all of those things. The media spoke with Nick Sirianni and, of course, Jalen Hurts. So we'll talk about what they had to say. We'll break it all down, but appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, whether you're watching this live, watching this later. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, opinions on all of these things going on. We have to wait till the end of July until we see the Eagles again. So may they enjoy this little break here. We're going to go insane, right? But I'll do my best to keep you entertained in that time. And then, once training camp begins and whenever they give us an actual date, I will tell you that. We'll talk about that. Then the off season will really be here because then we'll have preseason going in August. And look, it's going to be time to rock and roll. So these next couple months, we'll get through as much as we possibly can. But let's effing go, ladies and gentlemen. I see the chat rocking and rolling. So let's get over here. Check this out. My man, Justin, let's go. Yo, and I'm excited that you guys are excited. I really love hearing that stuff, man. Really glad when you guys are able to tune in. And I always tell you, if you miss them, you can't make it live, please feel free to comment. Let me know how you're feeling. It helps this channel when you do comment. So I love when you're here live, though. So let's rock and roll. You can tell me whatever's on your mind. Ask whatever questions you guys have. But what is going on, Lil? Hope you're having a great day. Duck, my man. Yo, glad to see you in here. And as I always say, you guys, you ever miss a show, you can always comment on the other ones. Yo, my man, Sean, appreciate you tuning in. William, hope you're having a great week, my dude. And, the Eagles love Quez. We've talked about that the last couple of months. Fans will go with whatever narrative it is for the weekend. A lot of resentment towards Quez for dropping balls at certain points, fumbling balls at certain points. And look, I'm sure he's pissed off too. He knows what he needs to work on, what he needs to do, what he needs to step up. But we're going to talk about all of these things that we're talking about today. So let's talk about who wasn't there. We'll start that off. And look, take this all with a grain of salt. Again, this is just OTAs. So on offense, you see Devin Allen. He's working out in like Paris or something for the Olympic stuff, jumping something, whatever. A.J. Brown, dude, he's a veteran. Who cares? Same with Lane and Kelsey sitting out today. Hazelwood was there in attendance, but he did not practice, so not sure what's going on there. But then on defense, you've got Bradbury. Barnett was there. So you see guys with the little asterisk there. They were there, but did not practice. A lot of guys on defense here. But, guys like Kaylee Ringo, he is not signed yet. So maybe he's just sitting this out. Barnett and Maddox coming back from an injury, so playing it safe. So that makes sense. So the rest of the guys, just veteran players, no real need. You're trying to take a look at these younger guys. So you see here that there were some guys that were not taking part. So you're going to see other people that, step in and get starting reps because of that. So try not to read too much into, guys getting reps and doing this, that, the other thing. I will explain all those things as we go through them. My man, Drew, appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're doing well. I'm always ready to go through a wall when I'm talking about the Birds, my man. So, I'm ready to rock and roll. Think Edmonds could turn into a linebacker? No. I think that, he's obviously got a role where these safeties have to do certain things down closer and not too much because we're a split safety kind of team, but I think that, he's got his role and he's definitely a safety on this team, and he and Reed getting the starting reps, and that's fine. We've talked about Sydney eventually becoming the starter, but I think all three will get their reps. So very excited about the safety room. Now, let's get into this bad boy. And to start this off, before practice even happened, they talked to Nick Sirianni. He talked about what he was saying to the guys. They need to come back in great shape, and when they're off the field, they need to be doing, smart things, making the right decisions in these next couple of months. They asked him if anyone stood out. He talked about Quez Watkins. I posted that clip. He talked about people sleeping on him, saying he stinks, and he's using that fuel. And hey, let's go. Fire it up, baby. But you take it with a grain of salt. That's cool, man. Great. But we need to see it on the field. So I'm excited about Quez. I love Quez. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but that's all right, man. He and Alameda pushing each other. Hey, all about it. Now, he talked about Hurts being the most coachable person he's ever been around. and he doesn't know what his ceiling is because the kid is just so damn good. And I mean, we can sit here and praise the kid forever, but he is going to continue to be coached up, developed, getting better and better. And I really cannot wait to see what Jalen Hurts looks like. And look, man, you all know how I feel about him the last few years. So this year, man, he's going to be even better. And that's crazy to think about. But he talked about Carter and Smith, the first two picks, just their athleticism, their power, and their personality. Getting to see those things these last couple of days. And it's 7-on-7 work. It's OTA. So you're really not getting to see much, especially from the big guys. So, and even the skill guy. I mean, you take it all with a grain of salt, man. But you really get to see how awesome these guys are. I posted that clip of Nolan Smith coming off the edge there. And look, these guys are going to show why they should have never fallen to 9-30. Thank you so much, NFL. They give us so much slack for how many people we've missed. That's fine. That's fine. But then he talked about how great our running backs are. All 5 of them doing a great job. He mentioned each of them. It's a deep room. He's excited about the competition. It's, going to be their time to shine once the pads come on, as just mentioned there. And he talked about, Kenny and DeAndre Swift stepping out, for those pass catching roles, really doing some things last couple weeks here that he has really been impressed by. So something we talked about this past week, the pass catching ability of those guys, what that's going to do for Jalen Hurts. And no knock on Miles Sanders, but I think this room is much better. And I think things are going to go a lot better for Jalen Hurts. So love to hear that. He talked about loving the wide receivers. He mentioned Quez, Olamide, Britton Covey really stepping things up. And that was in regards to DeAndre Hopkins. He said, you never know, but I highly doubt it. He loves the receivers we have, and so do I. He talks about having to be forced inside. They had to practice inside today, so adjust to the situation. The players' health comes first. Made a joke about the media too, and he's like, but not as much as the players. Then he said, it's nothing new to them, though, because they're used to situations happening. You got to, go with the flow, figure it out. But obviously wants to be felt, palpable. They asked him about, as Sean Desai had said. So love to that. Wants to be a physical team. Clearly, that is the identity of this team. We are the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to come punch you right in the mouth, and love hearing that. So they asked him about Morrow, how we talked about he's learned more about situational football in the few months he's been, or the few weeks he's been here, in more than the 7 years he's played. And we talked about just being diligent, smart, creating that football IQ by showing people what they're doing wrong, creating these situations to show people, how they can work on certain things. And you love to hear that. He said he also made a joke then how he was made fun of in his introductory press conference about wanting to be a smart team. And he said it was almost like, who's laughing now? And I love that. So not such a bad thing. He talked about being on the wall, connecting, competing, accountability, football IQ, and the fundamentals. Those are the important things here. Just equipping the players and coaches for these certain situations. Talked about having accountability on and off the field, just educating these guys, and showing them things that can help them on and off the field to be in the right situations. So you've seen a lot of people getting in trouble off the field. We don't want any of that stuff either. And he talks about don't hide the problems, put it out in the open, talk about things that can happen and make sure people, get help if they need it. So love to see it. And then they asked him again before he's leaving, is there a leader that stood out? And he just said, yeah, and then walked off, and everybody was laughing. So that was Sirianni before practice. Those were the notes I took on him, but excited about this team. And he's backing up his guys. He's always going to say the right things, but I love Nick Sirianni, and I know it took people a couple years to get on board with that, but he's a smart guy. And, he was able his first year to see, hey, I'm going to hand over play calling duties. And he did that in like week 6. And now he's allowing Brian Johnson to do that so he can be more of that head coach. And I think he's done a great job with these players. So exciting, exciting, exciting. Now let's talk about some of the notes from the practice today. And then I'll tell you what Jalen Hurts had to say. But, look, I appreciate you, Unspoken. Yo, man, anytime you guys take the time, I truly appreciate that. So thank you for taking the time, my man. Hope you're doing well. It's going to be a long couple months here, my man. Not till the end of July will we have anything, and that's okay. Now, whenever we get that day, I'll let you know, but I will continue to do what I can. You guys let me know if you need anything in this time, but I'll try to keep you as entertained as I can. Think we tried for Cooks when the Vikings release him? No, I do not, but I made a video about that earlier. You can go check that one out. You have any thoughts on that? Feel free to comment on that. But I think that, look, he's a good player, but I love the running backs we have, just as Sirianni had mentioned in his presser there. Definitely doing a good job. For sure. And I think that this whole team is doing a damn good job. And I think, Sirianni, how young he is, it's awesome to see that, man. And these young coaches that just, one got promoted, one got hired. I'm very excited about the Cyan Johnson. So be a great head coach you are and make sure that they find success. Now, let's talk about some of these notes here. So we talked about it being moved indoors. Howie was throwing at the beginning of some of these drills. So that's pretty funny. But Kenny G and Boston were at running back one again, splitting reps there. And we talked about that. Look, as Kenny and Penny get acclimated to the team, you're going to see things like that. That's fine. Then you talk about Devontae. He caught a touchdown today, had some really nice moves. He stood out. That was something I was definitely picking up on. He made some moves on Ricks, Elliss, and Greedy. Pretty much made them his bitch. But Hurts threw 2 picks. You'll hear about that. Oh, my God, it's the end of the world. But it's 7-on-7s, OTAs, these things. It's situational football, doing things where, look, man, things are going to happen. He didn't have A.J. Brown there today, so I'm not worried about it, although I know people are stat watchers in OTA time, and God help us all. Brett Toth, he had some work with the second and third team. Brett Toth playing center, so now he can play guard, tackle, and maybe a little center too. So bringing that versatility, trying to find a roster spot on this team is depth, so that will definitely go a long way. Then you got Cam Jurgens was starting at center because Kelsey was not there, and Tyler Steen getting those right guard 1 reps that we talked about. So, look, you're going to see guys moving around. Take it all with a grain of salt. People are going to continue to be moved around, see what you got, what you like, what you don't, and I'm very excited about it. On the defensive side of the ball, Josh Jobe and Greedy Williams were the starting corners with Slay and Bradbury out. Now Maddox is still out, so Zach McPherson once again was the nickel corner. So we talked about this. I'm seeing it everywhere. It's breaking news. He's switching position. He's always been able to play inside and out. He's just doing that because, Josiah Scott's not playing. Maybe he would be in there. So I'm not reading too much into that. That's something he's able to do, but so is Josh Jobe. There's guys like Goodrich, so many different players that are versatile pieces that you want to see play inside and bring that versatility. Maybe some of these guys also can play not just inside, outside. Then you got the guys that are pretty much a different kind of corner that can play inside, a little bit of safety. So that defensive back role can definitely go a long way. So Zach McPherson, definitely, he's got competition here, man. Josh Jobe, Greedy Williams, we talked about being those starters. So guys are fighting for jobs here, and I'm very excited about the competition that we have in the secondary there. Then you talk about Christian Elliss. One of my number 2 thing behind number 1 being how would the punters look was Christian Elliss. Would he get reps at linebacker 2 with this, number 1 guys, get at those starting reps? And he did, but Nicholas Morrow was not practicing. So talked about a great OTA last week. He had great practices. He had good practices this week. Today had an interception. I think he had 2 actually. And that's awesome. I'm very happy for him. And I hope he continues to do that. We talked about his versatile skill set, but this is OTAs. But I think he's someone that's going to push Nicholas Morrow, and he could definitely, I think he will make this 53-man roster. But you've got guys like Davian Taylor. They're trying. Kyron Johnson out off ball. And we talked about he did that at Kansas. And one of his coaches at Kansas was our linebackers coach, DJ Elliott. So he definitely knows that. And believe it or not, DJ Elliott was also a coach of Davian Taylor at Colorado. So maybe he can get the best out of both of those guys. And, you create some competition at linebacker. I know a lot of people feel scared about that position, but I feel there's depth at linebacker and safety. So I feel good about both of those. And I'd love to hear that these guys are getting work. Mekhi Garner in the secondary got an interception. Good to see that. He was covering Olamide Zaccheaus when he did that. Terrell Edmonds had a great pass break up on Olamide. He had a great day today. And then we talked about Ellis's interception. He did that in front of Jack Stoll there. So loved it, man. Loved to hear the few things I was able to, but it's OTAs. So it's just cool to hear about the Eagles, hear that they're doing certain things that we've talked about the last couple months here. So pumped up about it. But again, I know it's not much, but we're going to do what we can to get by, my man. Look, everybody, hit that like button. Yo, appreciate that. If you're getting anything from this, hit it up, dude. So thank you for that. Smart giving players. Exactly, man. And you want versatility, especially a defense like this. And on offense, too. Versatility goes a long way. So love to hear it. What is going on, Wavy D? Appreciate you, my man. And Elliss is looking great, man. And we talked about that. Somebody that I thought would make this roster. And he's proving that he definitely he helps on special teams. He does it all. So it's great depth, even if he's not starting. And that's what I love hearing about, too. This isn't about what are the starters doing, I'm keeping Hurts stat tracker here. I'm not going to do that, guys. But for me, it's about looking at these young guys, finding out what's going on and seeing who can make this job, just like we talked about Josh Jobe last year, things like that. And I'll try to get to some of these closed practices coming up in a couple of months. So we'll see. But we'll see if these young guys, if they stand out. So we shall find out. But let's talk about what Jalen Hurts had to stay here. But talked about, you start from the beginning. This is a new year. This isn't last year. And it was one of the funniest, he's so hilarious how he talks to the media because you could just tell he's annoyed. They just ask so many repetitive questions. And it's all right, dude. So talks about its preparation, being disciplined. We all know that. Learning from the past mistakes. It's just fuel to the fire, growing every day. It's all these sayings that he always has. And he talked about there's no limit to he and the wide receivers getting better. There will be time he's going to be working out these guys getting better. So that's something we all know he's going to do. Talked about Brian Johnson, how he's been around him his whole life. Loves that. Watched him growing up, being on the NCAA cover. I mean, that's so crazy to me. But how he views things, just understanding it, man. And I think that they'll obviously be doing things differently, but it's just growing from that offense that was, before that Brian Johnson's been a part of. So don't need involvement with the graduation was something he brought up. And I have noted they asked him about it, why it wasn't a big deal. And it's just that's his business, man. It's something he wanted to accomplish. And he doesn't want the admiration, anything like that. So, hey, I love him, dude. He's crazy. But he learns from everything. And he's just trying to be better every day. And literally, they just felt like they were asking him the same stupid questions. But only direction is to rise. We talked about this being a new group. So they've got to search for their identity in a couple months here when they all get together, start working on things, get the pads on. They will search for that identity. Each team is different. Each year is different. And this year, they're going to be striving for the same damn thing. So you love to see that. You love to hear that from your leader. Talked about just making smart decisions, being ready in a couple months. So on and off the field, making sure your body's ready, making sure that you are available, not getting in trouble for anything stupid. So that's what we need out of our leader. They talked about anything standing out this offseason. He said Jason Kelce being back. Loved it. I mean, that stands out to me too. We talked about the details matter, everybody being on the same page. And they asked him about Quez. He just said he's doing really good work. And he talked about how he worked out with him pre-draft, both of them. So they've known each other for a while here. But he talked about working in multiple positions, inside, outside. You love to see that. So that's all we want to know. But that's all I've got for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get over to these comments that I'm going to get rolling out here. My man, ECG, appreciate you tuning in, dude. Hope you are having a great day. Just going over the final day of OTAs here. And yes, we are, and we will get that damn trophy back. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Liz, happy Thursday to you as well. Hope you guys are all having a great week so far. Appreciate you taking the time. If anybody is rewatching this, doing whatever, you can always comment down below. But look, I got some stuff to do, so I got to get rolling out of here. Let's get it on. I'm all about it. Let's go effing birds. But they really do. And don't worry, I'll try to get in those rooms, be the Eagles outsider, and get things going in the right direction. So we shall see here. But what a time. It's always a great time to be an Eagles fan. My man, Daniel, appreciate you tuning in, dude. If you guys missed the Dalvin Cook video from earlier, go check that out. Go check out the top 25 Eagles editions ranked the other day. There's plenty of content here trying to get through this all season. And tomorrow will be Fan Friday, so I'll be back taking all of your questions and comments. So I hope to see you then. If anything happens in between that time, I will be back. But truly appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you have a great rest of your night. If you need me, feel free to reach out. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. Have a great, great Thursday night. Stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now, Go Birds!